Old glorious tree flourishes in our Dorian land, our sweet silvered wet nurse, the olive. Self-born and immortal, unafraid of foes, her ageless strength defies knaves, young and old. For Zeus and Athena, guard her with sleepless eyes. Sophocles, Oedipus at Colonus. Hey, how's it going? My name is Theophilosophocus, but my friends call me Teddy. I'm a Greek soldier from the 8th century, and I've come to talk to you, to tell you about a small green friend of mine. It's called the olive. I'm so pleased that you've come for me to explain the pleasures of the olive and olive oil. The olive has a very varied history. It goes back a long time, at least as far back as the ancient Greeks. We believe that the first olives were domesticated and grown around 6000 BC. It's a long time. But our myths, the myths of my people, the ancient Greeks, tell us that actually the olive tree came out of a competition. It was a competition that Zeus orchestrated, the king of the gods. Zeus said to the other gods, he said, listen guys, you know, I want to have this competition, and I want you guys to come and try and figure out what would be the most useful thing for mankind and invent this. And that which is the most useful to this god, he or she, to this person, immortal, I will award patronage of Attica, where the Acropolis shall stand. So anyway, the competition got under place, and Poseidon, macho ass that he is, first thing he did was take his trident and he thrust it into a stone, and out reared a stallion, beautiful stallion. I was kind of impressed. But you know, he was like, okay Zeus, this is what I can do. And Athena was next. And Athena, oh, great. Athena with those gorgeous legs and that great arrow and bow, and the way she would hunt in the afternoons wearing those hot pants was so incredible. But anyway, Athena, forgive me. Athena said, hey, look, this is my invention. And Zeus looked at her invention, and it was a tree. And he said, girlfriend, you ain't frontin'. That is one dope tree. Girlfriend, you win. This was during Zeus's gangster phase. We were all a bit embarrassed, but he's the king of the gods. What were we to do? So anyway, Athena won. And what a useful gift it was, the olive. So with that, I leave you. And a colleague of mine shall soon arrive and show you some of the pleasures of olive oil. So please enjoy. It was a pleasure to meet you. Take care. Hey guys. I'm back. How's it going? Plant. Anyway, we're going to make some great olive oil stuff today. We're going to make, first of all, we're going to make a nice little salad. There's many uses of olive oil. You know what? First of all, let me show you how to do an olive oil tasting, because this is something you all should know how to do. Because I want you all to be buying artisanal extra virgin olive oils. Because olive oil is really an incredible thing, and when you start getting more of a discerning taste for it, it's really going to open up a lot of avenues of culinary pleasure for you. So anyway, this is a nice little Greek oil. It's from Crete. It's an artisanal oil, and you should always look for extra virgin. It has to be harvested, it has to be cold pressed without any solvents or heat. That's the best. And usually extra virgin has to have like, I can't remember the number, but a really low level of acidity, which means that usually they must harvest and press the olives in the same day. And they press it just purely with a mechanical press. They don't apply any heat or solvents or anything. And that's how you can get the best flavor. Now, as you probably saw, I pulled this bottle out of a dark corner of my kitchen, which is where you always want to keep olive oil, because olive oil will degrade in light and heat. So you always want to keep it in a cool, dark place. And so anyway, let's do a tasting. I want you all to do this. I want you to go out, find good. Olive oil has so many different tastes, so many different characters, depending on where it's from, how it's produced, what the mix of olives are. There's so many different types of olives. In Spain alone, I think Spain is the largest producer of olive oil. I think there's like, I don't know, maybe like 10, 11 different types of olives. There's Picual, there's Arbequina, there's tons of different types. So anyway, okay, if you want, so go out and buy small bottles, it's cheap, of extra virgin olive oil. Buy a big, if you're like me, I buy a big bottle of I don't want to show the name because I don't want to discredit this company, but I buy a big bottle of fairly cheap extra virgin that I use strictly for cooking, because if you can afford it, use a good artisanal extra virgin for cooking as well. Your cooking is going to come out much better than it would otherwise. But unfortunately, you know, if you're on a budget, then it's too expensive to buy, you know, a $30 bottle of olive oil just to fry some potatoes or something. But so if you're in that situation, go ahead and buy it cheaper. Make sure it's extra virgin still. Buy a cheap extra virgin and use that for cooking, because cooking is going to destroy some of the subtle flavors that a good artisanal extra virgin will have. So anyway, to do a tasting, all you want to do is you want to get a small cup, and you're just going to pour like a, let me get up close with you guys. You're going to pour like from 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon of olive oil. You can see this is a really nice, see it without spilling it. This is a really nice, here, let me look. You can see that's a really nice deep green oil. But the color, a deep green color doesn't always mean a great oil. Often it does, often it doesn't. It's really hard to tell. That's why in professional tastings they usually taste the olive oil in a blue tinted glass, because they don't want to be, their decision on the taste of the oil to be influenced by the color of the oil. So anyway, you put your oil in your small little cup. You're going to put your hand over the top, put your hand under the bottom, hold it there for a few minutes. You're just going to want to heat the oil slightly, just in the warmth of your hands, just like you're warming brandy in a brandy snifter. So go ahead and just heat it up. Putting your hand over the top is going to concentrate the aroma, because after it's a little bit warm from your hands, then you're just going to take a good whiff and just really breathe in the nuances. This is a very fragrant oil. It's a Greek oil, as I said. So after you've done that, you're going to go ahead and want to take a sip. And just slosh it around your mouth. And go ahead and swallow. So, once you take, I should have told you this before I had it in my mouth. Once you take a sip, you want to slosh it around, and this oil has a little, sometimes with oils, especially Tuscan oils, you're going to notice a little bit of almost burning, a tiny bit of burning in the back of the throat. That's actually a prized quality of Tuscan oils. They take pride, they call it, in Italian it's pizzicante, they call that quality, and it's something that the olive oils from Tuscany take pride in. But if you don't like that, then you might want to go with like a smoother Ligurian, or maybe oil from Provence, from France, which is smoother. But this is a good, it has a tiny pungency at the end. So what you want to do, you want to slosh it around your tongue, and then you want to try and breathe in a little bit through your teeth to oxidate the oil and get more of the taste. And then swallow it. Very nice. So that's how you do an olive oil tasting. And you really should do that often. You really should be trying to make your palate more sensitive to. You're going to be able to enjoy the food you produce much more if you train your palate to sense more the nuances of flavor and aroma and so forth. So anyway, what we're making a salad with fresh peaches and corn and toasted almonds. I've got corn steaming here. Should let it steam for it's been about 10 minutes, so it's about done. Let it steam for about 10 minutes, then you're going to plunge it into an ice water bath. Just going to stop it from cooking. So we'll get some ice water. Okay, got a nice little ice bath here. And what we're going to do is the corn is done, so we're just going to go ahead and pull it out. You know it's done when it gets nice glowing yellow. And just plunge it into that ice bath just to stop it from cooking. You don't want it to overcook. And I've got a nice heavy cast iron pan here, and I've got some unpeeled whole olives. And I'm just going to toast those up in that pan. And meanwhile, I've got another pot of boiling water. And I've got 3 peaches here. Just going to take the labels off. Oh, that was a nice oil. Had a really nice finish. There's tons of incredible olive oils out there. You should try them all. So I'm just going to put these peaches in the boiling water and I'm going to knock out the flame with the, I don't want to do that. Let's move it over. Just want to go ahead and heat the peaches for about 2 minutes. Let me fix that flame. There we go. So go ahead and boil those peaches for about 2 minutes. In the meantime, what we can do is we can go ahead and we got 1 lime, and we're going to zest that lime. So the zest is the outer green. Well, I can do it if to do it with a paring knife. We're gonna just try and remove the very outer green part of the lime. You can do this with a vegetable peeler. I just can't seem to find mine at the moment, so I'm gonna do it with a paring knife. And you just want maybe like I'd say a little bit less than a tablespoon. You want to try and avoid getting the white part. You just want the dark green peel. That's called the zest. It's the zesty zest, baby. Zest is where it's at. Oh yes, get the zest off. Okay, that's enough. You get the idea. It's much easier with a peeler. And actually you can also buy a tool called a zester, which makes it even easier. So there's been about 2 minutes on this, a little bit more than 2 minutes on those peaches, which is fine. We're just going to dump those in the ice water as well. The only reason that we blanch them is that this will allow us to remove the peels. So in the meantime, I'm going to take my chef's knife, just go ahead and mince this zest up. Beautiful. Okay, and we're also going to we want the zest, and we want about a teaspoon of the juice. So we'll just go ahead. That's about a teaspoon. And the zest. This is a great use of this is a nice and fruity olive oil, which is probably what the kind you would want for a salad like this. You wouldn't want a sharper Tuscan style oil. You'd want something subtle, smooth, and sweet with a little bit of fruit. So you can see how easy these peaches peel after they've been blanched. They're really nice looking peaches. Just going to get rid of these nasty peels. Whoa, slippy one. Trying to get away. Can't get away from me, Mr. Peach. I'm the peach peeler guy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take these peaches and just cut them away from the pit. Let's see if we can just remove the pit. Oh, that came apart easy. Sometimes you got to squeeze too much to do that. You lose a lot of the juice. So you're going to want these peaches in about 1/2 inch dice, which means cut into 1/2 inch cubes. And you'll know that the almonds are getting, whoa, turned on the wrong burner. You know that the almonds are getting nice and toasted when their kitchen starts to get fragrant with their toasting aroma. So marvelous. It's wonderful. It's marvelous. Okay, gang. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and put these peaches in the bowl with the lime juice and the lime zest. Yummy. And need that. Need it. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our corn that we've cooked and just with a sharp knife cut it away from the cob. Very nice. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and put that with our peaches as well. And you know what, actually we can dump this out now because we won't need it. And we can use it for that stuff. Marvelous. Okay, so got that done. Got our almonds toasting. Toast up, little almonds. I need you toasted. So, okay, while those almonds are toasting, we're going to go ahead and start our wonderful next dish, which is leeks with shrimp and scallops. And I'm also going to, in addition to the shrimps and scallops, I'm going to cook this dish with some tilapia. Tilapia is a real mild South American fish, excellent fish that I'm going to use here because some people are allergic to shellfish, and it's always nice to give them another option. Let's see. Kind of at a loss for pans today. It's still hot. I don't want to pour water into that. So leeks tend to be really gritty. So you really have to wash them well. So go ahead and just cut them up and clean them in several changes of cold water. Usually what I do is I go ahead and let them sit in the water, let the grit work its way out of them. And in the meantime, we can go ahead and take our fish here, our seafood. And this is the tilapia fillet, very nice fish. Just going to take it and I'm going to cut it into chunks. Very nice. And remember, if you're cooking for someone who's allergic to shellfish or other things, you want to try and not mix that stuff together, even if you're not going to serve it to them. Don't spice it in the same bowl and so forth. Try and keep it separate. So anyway, got the tilapia there, and what we're going to do is we're just going to add, this is really delicious stuff if used sparingly, but if you use too much of it, it's not very good. So just a tiny bit, like a 1/4 teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice. And our almonds are starting to get fragrant here. Starting to get nice and toasted. So I'm going to use another bowl for this shrimp. Gorgeous shrimp. So I'm just going to go ahead. It's already been deveined, which the vein is the thin black line that you'll see up the back of the shrimp. Which, if your shrimp hasn't been cleaned of the vein, then you should just make. It's easy to do. Even though this has been done, I'll show you how to do it. Just take your knife and run it up the back of the shrimp there, just right underneath that black vein, and then you should be able just to pull it out. But this shrimp has already been deveined, it just needs to be peeled. So I'm just going to peel it. I like to leave the tail on. And you can hear the almonds are starting to snap, and they're smelling very fragrant, so they're about done. So I'm going to turn the heat off them while I'm peeling the shrimp. Beautiful shrimp. This would also be good with prawns if you find prawns, which usually are available. This is cooking with, if you're using a really good olive oil, sometimes it's better just to stay simple with the recipe. Like if you're making a pasta dish, just heat up the oil, maybe chop up some garlic and saute it in the oil in a fairly generous amount of oil, and then just toss it with the pasta with some salt and pepper and maybe a little Parmesan, and that's perfect. If you really have a good oil and you just want to show it off. And you can also, I mean, many people like Núñez de Prado, which is a great Spanish olive oil. They suggest just slicing oranges. Good sweet blood oranges would be good. Spanish blood oranges or Valencia oranges would be perfect. And just cut off the skins, slice them up, and do nothing more than drizzle them with the delicious Núñez de Prado olive oil, and you've got an absolutely fantastic salad. Oh, there's another piece of peach that I forgot. So just, yeah, I use this on the fish. So let me go ahead and wash. Just slice these up. Okay, and since the almonds are sufficiently toasted, all we're going to do is take them. Sorry about that. And just go ahead and chop them coarsely. Oh, they smell fantastic. There's nothing like toasted almonds. You should always toast your nuts. Seriously, it's no, really, I'm serious, because toasting, and the same for spices. If you toast spices, just you don't want to toast them so far that they say that when there's tons of fragrance in the air, then all the fragrance is out of the spice. You want to just toast them until you just start to smell their aroma, and it's fantastic. Toasting things, you got to toast if you're using pecans, toast them. If you're using almonds, walnuts, anything, toast it. It'll be much better. I mean, they're good otherwise, but they'd be much better toasted. Okie doke. So go ahead, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our cast iron pan, put it on the stove. Go ahead and get some scallops. Got some nice sea scallops here for your enjoyment. Village disease scallop. So go ahead and we got scallops, sea scallops, as I was saying. Go ahead and I want you to cut like crosshatch, just lines that way and lines that way pattern in the scallop, and that'll open them up. When they're cooking, they'll be, it's not going to do, it might let some of the flavor of the spice deeper into the scallop, but it's not really for flavor so much as for presentation. And I'll just go ahead and put those in with my shrimp. Do the same thing as I did with the, wash my hands. I did with the tilapia. I'm going to put a ever so small amount of 5-spice, Chinese 5-spice. Again, just like a 1/4 teaspoon or less, just a tiny amount. Go and put that in there. A little salt, some black pepper. Okay, and we just stir that around just to get the spice all over. Chinese 5-spice is really nice, but again, you got to be frugal with it. Otherwise, it's just too cloying. And also, if the recipe that you're using, that you're making, calls for lemon, then 5-spice is recommended, because lemon will cut some of the cloying, sweet, kind of aromatic sweetness of the 5-spice. So, anyway, okay, I'm going to go ahead and heat up the pan. And we're going to use some of our nice fruity olive oil. As you taste more olive oils and compare and so forth, and your palate becomes more sensitive to the different nuances, you can start intuitively pairing different types of olive oil with different dishes. I mean, just from my experience, like a peppery Tuscan oil goes really well with bruschetta, toasted Italian bread with garlic, or with a plain pasta dish. Something where you want some zip, you know, some life, a little spiciness, and things like a nice fruity, maybe Ligurian oil or a Provençal oil go really well with like. Okay, so it's just getting to the right temp, and we're gonna I'll go ahead and do the fish first. Actually, you know what? Got the order. First of all, we're going to go ahead and add our leeks. Saute some leeks. Now, regularly I would add some asparagus to this dish too. I would just blanch, briefly boil, just like 2 minutes or so, some asparagus spears and add those near the end of the sauteing process. But I don't happen to have asparagus, so I'm just going to make it with leeks and fish. So I'm just going to briefly saute the leeks. Whoa! And I'll get the rest of the leeks ready for the shellfish. Now, being that I'm worried about somebody who might have an allergy to shellfish, I'm going to make sure and think ahead and cook the fish for them first off, so that the pan is not what's the word I'm looking for? Contaminated with the shellfish. So once your leeks are just starting to caramelize and turn tender, lost our flame. You just want them just to start to caramelize. And go ahead and add the fish. I use tilapia all the time. It's a really nice fish. It has a very light flavor. Very light fish in general. It's pretty much good for everything. I mean, you wouldn't want to use it with a strong sauce, because you want, generally in terms of pairing sauces with food items, you want the stronger tasting food items to have the stronger sauce, because you want whatever it is, fish or meat, to be able to hold up to the strength of the sauce. That's why, for instance, for salmon or some other oily and stronger tasting fish, I might use cream, like a cream sauce of some sort. Maybe shallots, sauteed shallots with white wine and cream and mustard, and reduce it. That might be a good salmon. So, okay, we're gonna, our fish, you know, cooks up pretty quickly. So as I said, five spice is great, but it can be too cloying, sweet and aromatic. So I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon to deglaze the pan. and to tame the 5 spice. Also, just lemon goes great with fish, so pretty intuitive. You don't want to cook it too much. You don't want to overcook your fish. Okay, so go ahead and plate this one out. That's very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more of our good Greek oil, about 2 tablespoons or so. I'm going to saute up the rest of the leeks, and go ahead and do the shellfish. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and finish the peach corn and toasted almond salad, which is pretty much done actually. All we need to do is salt and pepper it. Salt and freshly ground pepper. Just a touch. And we're going to add some of our good fruity Greek oil here. Oh, delicious. Just going to go ahead and toss that all together. Really nice. Sort of lightly toss it. Give it a taste to check for seasoning. Oh, it's fantastic. This is a great oil for this, and the corn and the sweetness of the peaches and the tartness of the lime and the wonderful toasty flavor of the almonds is perfect. So anyway, I'll go ahead and serve this baby up. Oh yes. So there's a plate from, I don't know why that flame keeps going out. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and toss in our shrimp and scallops here. And basically we're just going to do the same thing that we did with the tilapia, just let them saute. Just takes a couple minutes until they're done. You can tell by the fact that the shrimp will turn pink, and being that we've scored the scallops to open up like a flower, really pretty. And that's it, guys. Let me go ahead and finish this so I can show you. Get some of this stuff out of the way. Get another lemon ready here. Okay, so shrimp and scallops are getting there. A little bit longer. You know, olive oil is so versatile. You can bake with it. You can, in Italy and Greece, they do everything with it. I mean, the Greeks on average drink more olive oil than anybody else. The Italians are the largest importer and exporter of oil, but actually something that you should be aware of is that the Italians consume per capita much more olive oil than they can produce, and yet they export tons of oil as well. So what happens is that a lot of the oils that you see that say product of Italy are not actually Italian oils. They're Spanish, Greek, Moroccan, Tunisian oils that are imported into Italy, bottled in Italy, and because they're bottled there, they can legally put product of Italy on it. So what you want to look for, if you want to really get, I mean, a lot of those oils still are great oils, because Spanish oils are great, Moroccan oils are great. But if you want an olive oil from a specific place, make sure to look on the label. It'll usually say produced and bottled in wherever. And so, I mean, that should be something that you should try to try and look for oils from different places. Look for Greek oils, look for Spanish oils, look for Italian oils. Even if you can find a Moroccan oil or Californian. There's some great California olive oils out there, so I'm just going to add the lemon here. Look for those and try oils from all different places. Compare them. Have olive oil tasting parties. Okay. Beautiful. So here we go. We got shrimp and scallops with leeks, 5-spice, lemon juice, and star of the show, delicious artisanal Greek olive oil. Beautiful. Alrighty, there you go. Okay guys, let me give you a little peek. Oh, doesn't that look yummy? So there we go. We got shrimp, scallops, leeks, and a peach, corn, toasted almond salad, all dressed with wonderful Greek artisanal oil. So go out, buy some olive oil, have fun. Okay, see ya.